What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Fantasy football season is approaching fast. It's July 13th as I'm recording this video, and fantasy ADPs are starting to be cemented in. So I found 8 receivers that are going later than pick 28 who I think are must drafts or at least must targets. So without further ado, let's just dive right into these guys. Coming in at number 1, and these aren't going to be in any particular order, I just threw them on a sheet. So number 1 for me is Juju Smith-Schuster, going as wide receiver 36 currently. Now, he's a new receiver on the Chiefs, and while I'm a little worried that the Chiefs won't have any, super one-targeted guy, it's going to be more of a collection of people, I think Juju is going to be the wide receiver 1 for that team. And there's 159 targets open in that offense from Tyreek Hill leaving. It's really as simple as that. Juju is the most proven player out of all the receivers they have. Mecole Hardman hasn't done anything in basically his whole career. I don't trust Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I think he's actually a pretty bad player. He's a deep threat who drops the ball all the time. And then we don't know anything about Justin Ross and Sky Moore. So I think it's Juju's job to lose. And I think he's just going to be consistently peppered with targets every week. And I think he's just going to be a PPR monster. Coming in at number 2 is Brandon Aiyuk, wide receiver 40. Now, considering where we took Aiyuk in this past draft, this seems crazy to me, right? We all know he was in the doghouse from the beginning of the season with his teammate Trey Sermon. All the way up until week 8, he didn't surpass 72% of the snaps played in a game. But from weeks 8 to 18, he averaged 4.5 receptions, 66 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I mean, those are pretty decent stats for a number 2 receiver behind Deebo Samuel and a guy that was in the doghouse. This averages out to 73 catches, 1,100 yards. I mean, that's pretty good for wide receiver 40. If Aiyuk can start out the season strong, unlike he did last year, with the talent that we constantly see on film from him, I don't even care if it's Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance. I believe in the talent, and I'm a talent-based guy. I believe talent over situation 10 out of 10 times. I think Brandon Aiyuk at wide receiver 40 can be an absolute steal. Third on my list is Hunter Renfrow at wide receiver 28, and this will be the earliest guy on the list. Now, you might say, this is the worst pick ever. Why would I take this guy? He has no upside with Davante Adams coming in. And I completely disagree. Okay, sure. Is he going to go for 1,500 yards? Probably not. But he was never going to do that anyway. There's 2 guys in Derek Carr's career who have finished as top 24 receivers in the same receiving corps. And they've done it twice. Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree. And one time, they did it as top 12 options. Both of them were top 12 receivers. Yeah, Derek Carr did that. Look, Hunter Renfrow is just a route running beast, and I think he's just going to be consistently getting peppered with targets every week. He's a great route runner who always gets open, and I think Derek Carr is going to have big weeks to Davante Adams, but I think his really go-to guy is going to be Hunter Renfrow. And not to mention, new head coach Josh McDaniel was the OC for the Patriots, who we all know had Wes Welker and Julian Edelman slot weapons galore there. So I think Hunter Renfrow steps right into that role, and Derek Carr and him are going to form a great connection this year, and I don't think he's going to lose a step. I think Hunter Renfrow is just going to be great in a wide receiver 28, not a ton of upside, but a ton of safety there. Coming in at wide receiver 4 is Robert Woods, going as wide receiver 38. Now, I think this is way too late. Robert Woods had 3 consecutive seasons with the Rams with 85 plus catches and ranged anywhere from 1,000 to 1,300 yards. Sure, he's coming off a torn ACL, but torn ACLs really don't concern me that much anymore, and he did it early enough in the season to where I think he's going to come back healthy for training camp. Treylon Burks hasn't had any blurbs about him, and the ones that he does have about him are saying that he has asthma, and he hasn't really participated in OTAs, and he hasn't been anything special. So, if Robert Woods can just immediately step into an empty receiving core with Ryan Tannehill, who granted isn't the best quarterback in the world, but hey, Robert Woods has done it with Jared Goff before. I just think this is an easy bet here. Wide receiver 38 for the number 1 receiver on a team anywhere for any team, that's a steal. Coming in at number 5 is a really deep player I just wanted to get in here quickly. Jamison Crowder, wide receiver 81. This is crazy to me. The dude has battled some injuries in his career, but I think when he plays, he's been pretty productive. His quarterbacks have been an early Kirk Cousins, back when he was with the Redskins, and Sam Darnold, so no one that impressive. But Crowder is now a Buffalo Bill, and he's playing with Josh Allen, and I think the biggest factor, he's taking Cole Beasley's spot in the slot. In back-to-back seasons, Cole Beasley had over 82 catches. if Jamison Crowder can just immediately step in as the slot receiver, where I think it's going to be Stephon Diggs on the outside and Gabe Davis, if you really trust him, on the other side. Sure, it's wide receiver 81, so you're basically getting him for free. But if he could take over the Cole Beasley role, you have a pretty solid receiver for basically nothing. Number 6 is actually going to be the latest player on this list, Jalen Tolbert / James Washington, going wide receiver 82 or later. And this one is just simple. We don't really know anything about the talents. James Washington flamed out of Pittsburgh, and Jalen Tolbert is a rookie. There's so many targets opened up for Dallas with no Amari Cooper there. Michael Gallup tore his ACL, and I don't think he's going to be ready. He tore it really late in the season, so I don't think he'll be ready for week 1. Dallas throws the ball, a ton. They're a pass-heavy team, so I think there's someone's got to be the wide receiver 2 there, and it has to be productive. Maybe it's one of them, maybe it's not. But you're going as wide receiver 82 or later, that's free. They might not even get drafted. So maybe, hey, stash this guy on your bench, but just get him on your roster just in case. And nearing the end of our list at number 7 is Allen Robinson, wide receiver 30. Now talk about Robert Woods and Odell Beckham. They both had great success as the wide receiver 2 last year for the Rams. The Rams love to throw the ball a ton with Matthew Stafford, and we know Matthew Stafford's a gunslinger. I think this guy, Allen Robinson, will be the perfect wide receiver 2 for Matt Stafford. The things that the Rams need are big play receivers, while Cooper Kupp, of course, goes downfield, but that's not his game. His game is the slot guy. He plays the middle of the field. He catches those million passes. They need the deep threat that can win a jump ball, that can be physical over the middle, and play, get really contested catches. And that's what Allen Robinson's specialty. That's his game. That's what he's known for. So I think Allen Robinson fits in better than even Robert Woods or Odell Beckham with Matthew Stafford there. And lastly, this one is near and dear to my heart. It's Rashad Bateman, wide receiver 39. I mean, that's pretty late. And once again, I said it earlier, if you can get the wide receiver 1 for a team, I don't care if it's, like I said, with Robert Woods. I don't care if it's Ryan Tannehill. I don't care if it's Lamar Jackson, right? It's the wide receiver 1 for a team. And last year, Rashad Bateman had some great games as the wide receiver 2 for the Ravens. He steps in immediately as the number 1 receiver there. Lamar Jackson's finally healthy after last year. I think he's going to get targeted heavy, and he's going to have some big weeks because he's a talented guy. Going as wide receiver 40, hey, 1,000 yards is easily in play for Rashad Bateman. All right, those are my 8 late-round must-draft receivers. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, leave a like down below. Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel for more. There'll be plenty of content coming over the summer. We're heading into fantasy football season, so it's getting heavy quick. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.